It's Monday, it's a new day, it's the start of a new week. Welcome aboard the AM show with Benjamin and Bernice. We're glad to have you join us as we kickstart the week in grand style. Well, we'll be starting with the news shortly, and right after that, we'll get into the news review. And after that, sports with Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. But then, we get into our big stories. Number one on our plate today, we're going to be contemplating the spillage of the Akosombo Dam and what it has done to residents along the Volta Lake in specific catchment areas. The situation has deteriorated, though there has been some collaboration between the various entities, including the Akosombo Dam Authority. Now, the VRA, so to speak. They have actually took us to the ground. They've given us an idea of what has happened and communications that have been brought to bear. But the people still languish. What is the way forward? We'll be delving into that issue this morning. Also coming up, we're going to be contemplating our latest Hotline documentary, Poisoned for Gold. And of course, that talks about Galamsey and its effects, basically, on our water bodies, our river systems, and of course, our land as well. Erastus Asaridonko, my colleague, will be on that beat. The full version airs later tonight at 8:30 p.m., but Bernice Abubedu Lanza will be handling that conversation. We'll also celebrate his exploits as the EMYPAB Ansa Communicator of the Year, right here on the AM show. And finally, we'll be giving you our coverage today of the National Science and Math Quiz. Some have fallen, some remain. My school, Bishop Herman, fell to Wesley Girls. Wesley Girls, let's give them their props. They're doing well this year. At least my school gets back into the 1-8 stage next year. How about your school? Stay tuned for that. That'll be on the last leg of the show. And then we'll also speak with our team in Kumasi to give us updates on all of that. So stick and stay. Let's do this for God and country. Up next, the news. Thank you for staying with us. Time now for our news belt, and we start with our first story. The University Teachers Association of Ghana is asking government to review the single spine salary structure to expand its level and notches to accommodate its members. National President Professor Mamudu Abungu Akudugu made the call at UTAG's 21st Biennial National Delegates Congress in Tamale. Martina Bugri now
leadership of UTAG to deliberate on the activities of the union, welfare of its members, and national development. It was under the theme Labor Unionism and Socio-Economic Transformation in Ghana. Can UTAG be the pace-setter? President of UTAG, Professor Mahmudu Abonga Akurugu, also demanded that government complete negotiations for their conditions of service for implementation by January 2024.
We demand our employer, that's government, to, as a matter of urgency, work with us and all other stakeholders to, one, complete the negotiations for our conditions of service for implementation by January 2024. More importantly, we employ the employer to implement without any further delay the negotiated per liter rate for vehicle maintenance allowance and off-campus allowance and the arrears thereof paid. We are asking for a review of the single span salary structure, or in the meantime, expand the levels and notches to accommodate our members or take us out of the span completely. If this is not possible, we want out. And we think that we are better off out the span than on the spine. Our last demand is that development is possible and efficient when it is supported with the relevant contextual evidence. So what we need is that at least governments will work towards dedicating 1% of our GDP to fund the National Research Fund, at least 1% of GDP. So the generation of evidence can only be possible if research is adequately funded.
The General Secretary of the Trade Union Congress, Dr. Anthony Yauba, called for unionized groups in the country to lead a process to have the 1992 Constitution changed because he said it had lost its relevance.
I tell you now, all Ghanaians are looking up to us because it looks like we are the most well organized, and I'm talking about trade unions. Therefore, we must work to improve conditions of all Ghanaians, not only us, not only our members. And if we can do that, then there is one thing we have to pay attention to, and that has to do with the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. That Constitution is no longer serving us, and we have to change it. We have to come together as trade unions, as organized labor, and lead the transformation, and that transformation can only appear if we change the constitution of this country.
The Vice Chancellor of the University for Development Studies, Professor Saidu Al-Hassan, called on universities to make their programs relevant to transform the country.
All of us will be teaching. We do research, we mount programs. Are they relevant to national policy? Are they relevant to promote the transformation that we want? So the area is our academic programs and the research that we do in the universities. We have to make them more relevant to national development. That is.
Well, in our next story, Paramount Chief of the Laura Traditional Area, Napowele Kabo III, says he's worried about the increasing number of cases of substance or drug abuse in the Laura municipality. He notes that the abuse of tramadol and other illicit substances is putting the lives of some of the people at risk, citing the recent deaths of 3 young men in the municipality as examples. He's been speaking at this year's Kobina Festival at Laura, from where Rafiq Salam reports.
This sound of the horn, known locally here as Hori, signifies the start of the Kobina Festival, celebrated by the chiefs and people of the Laura traditional area. The festival is celebrated annually to thank God and their ancestors for a successful farming season in anticipation of a bumper harvest. Kobina also provides a platform for the citizens to discuss and review development programs and issues affecting the development of the area. One notable thing who the Paramount Chief of the Laura traditional area, Napowele Kabo III, saw as a drawback and danger to the people is the increasing cases of substance abuse in the municipality, citing the case of 3 young men who recently lost their lives as a result of that.
We have observed in recent times an alarming incidence of suspected drug or substance abuse-related deaths in the department. Between the periods of June, July this year, the Laura Township alone witnessed the death of 3 apparently healthy young men presenting the same or similar medical condition of suspected kidney failure, possibly as a result of some drug or substance abuse. The issue of substance or drug abuse raises potential devastating socio-economic consequences on the productivity of the farming population, is therefore a looming threat and a challenge to agricultural productivity and the sustainability of public investment.
In our next story now, the Electricity Company of Ghana is asking Ghanaians to be vigilant and guard against theft of power transmitting logistics in their jurisdiction. General Manager of the ECG Volta region, Christina Jatukalio, says the stealing of these logistics interrupts power supply.
The roadshow forms part of the Power Distribution Company's Customer Service Month celebration. Workers at the Volta Regional Secretariat interacted with the residents and educated them to create awareness of ECG's cashless system. The system saw the introduction of the Power App and short code *226# to enable customers to transact business with the company remotely on their phones. Ms. Christina Jatukalio is the General Manager of ECG Volta region.
We want to say that continue to patronize the ECG Power app or use the short code, which is the *226#. Some of the advantages are you can top up your credit, those using prepaid meters. Those with postpaid meters, you can also pay your bills. You can check your bill using the app. You can check your consumption. You can log complaints, especially for those using the app. You can, instead of walking all the way to our offices to report a complaint, just go on your phone and put it there. And it's a convenient way of doing business with us. We will close at 5 o'clock, but this app doesn't close. It's 24/7. You can wake up any time of the night, any time of the day, whether it is raining, it is shining, you can contact ECG by way of using the ECG Power app or the short code.
She used the medium to entreat the public to help protect ECG logistics in their neighborhood to prevent theft and interruptions of power supply.
Let's be vigilant. We have people around who are vandalizing our system. They pull down transformers to steal copper. Meters are being stolen. Service cables are being stolen. So let's all be each other's keeper. Watch. If you see anybody doing something you are not sure if it's from ECG, kindly approach the person, find out. If you feel suspicious, alert your friends, and let's all, because when they take off these coppers, large communities are in darkness. Everybody is losing. People who are even in the hospital needing power, the power can just go up. It's not all power outages that are caused by ECG. Some of these things are done by people who have their own personal interests and trying to steal from the company.
Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News.
Empower women to reduce the country's crime rate. That's according to the Medina Divisional Police Commander, Chief Superintendent Dr. Sarah Abba Afari. Dr. Abba Afari is urging the Ministry of Gender to craft a policy to help women spend more time with their children. There's more in this report.
As the first female police PhD holder in Ghana and Africa, Chief Superintendent Dr. Sarah Abba Afari, the Medina Divisional Police Commander of the Ghana Police Service, has again been honored with 2 honorary doctorate degrees in ministry and Christian education from the Holy Spirit Bible University for her outstanding leadership and contribution towards curbing the crime rate in her jurisdiction of Medina. Dr. Sarah Abba Afari urged the Gender Ministry to craft a policy to help women spend much more time with their children as a strategy towards reducing the country's crime rates.
When we update or build the capacity of women, then we're able to change the dynamics of our nation. So I will encourage the Gender Ministry to develop strategies for women, working women, to have time, maybe have time to receiving their children when the children return from school. Because house helps are also children, most of them are children that need to be guided. So if there should be a policy that is gender mainstreaming, to allow women, let's say Ghanaian children get back from school at 3 p.m. So women can close from work at 3 and get home to meet their children. It will reduce what? Crime. And it will bring everything back to what? Normalcy. Let's try it and it will work.
According to her, targeting women as a crime-fighting strategy is already yielding positive results in the Medina municipality.
As a crime prevention strategy, I interact with women in my jurisdiction, that is the Medina jurisdiction, and then to know their problem and also sensitize them on how to take good care of their children, because they are able to control their children no matter how their age. Everybody submits to the voice of the mother. So for crime to be prevented, the mother, the woman, is an equal partner to crime prevention. So any neglect in acknowledge women in this partnership, any crime prevention strategy or model will be a mirage. That is why I chose to deal with women, because a woman is able to influence their husband. So if the husband is a criminal, the woman is able to influence the husband to tilt.
Now, the Joy News Impact Makers awardee and Municipal Girl Child Coordinator for Techiman, Ellen White Opoku, has held a mentorship and health talk seminar for school children in the municipality as part of activities to mark this year's International Day for the Girl Child. She admonished the girls to be respectful to their parents and peers and charged key stakeholders to ensure they invest in girls' rights as a way of empowering them to realize their potential. Correspondent Anas Abid has the rest of the story.
The Action Aid Forum in Sunyani, as part
We'll bring you excerpts of that later, but let's move on to our next story. And the Rural Focus Initiative, a charity organization run by Joy News' Samuel Kojo-Brace and his friends, have constructed a mechanized borehole for the pupils of the SDA Basic School in Banso, a farming community in the Ahanta West municipality of the Western region. Now, this is to help solve an age-old problem of lack of potable water for the school children. There is more in this report.
Banso, a farming community in the Ahanta West municipality, is one of many communities with their basic schools plagued by several challenges. One major problem that confronted the school was lack of potable water. The pupils here had to rely on a small stream for their source of drinking water.
Since I started this school, this is the water I have been drinking. Even when we are in class, we don't have any water. So when the teacher is teaching, we have to wait till the teacher ends what he's teaching before we can come and drink water here.
Since I come to this school, this water I have been drinking. When we are in class and the teacher is teaching, we need water to drink, but we do not have water.
Joy News' Samuel Kojo-Brace and his organization, the Rural Focus Initiative, were notified of the situation for a possible help. Richard Bentum is the project coordinator of the organization.
Yeah, so Rural Focus Initiative is a non-governmental organization. Our aim is to empower the less privileged. So a few months ago, we had a call from the school. Then Samuel Kojo-Brace, myself, and our team members, we visited the school to understand their problem. Actually, we never even came here for this issue, but throughout our conversation, we were made to understand that they have serious problem with water. They took us to a place where the students used to fetch water, and it was an almost dried up stream. Seriously, we were sad. So we thought it wise of getting a mechanized borehole like this for them.
He says with about 90% of the funding support from the UK for DMB, a group affiliated to Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, a mechanized borehole has been constructed for the school.
So we took to social media where a group of people from UK for Bawumia, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, came to our aid to support us. And so we were able to get something for them, and today it's so refreshing to have this project commissioned because water is life, and we are happy to see these young kids or these students having access to potable water.
The headmistress of the school, Madam Catherine Yali, said this will bring a huge relief to the school.
Because previously the children has been going to the community to fetch water from the borehole, and during break time the children will go and will not come back early. after the break. And at times too, when they don't get the water there, they have to go to the stream over there to fetch water. And the water from the stream has a lot of germs which affect the children to get worms and malaria, tapeworms and others. But now that we've got this potable water, I hope that the delay of break each time will stop, and the children will also get good health.
She promised to ensure the regular maintenance of the facility.
We thank the Almighty God for the water that Grace and team has given us. I and my MC and the PTA people have pledged that we'll be able to maintain it so that Grace after 10 years will come and see the same thing newly and neat as it is today.
The group has set their sights on providing classroom and washroom infrastructure for Fasing MA Basic, another farming community in the municipality. Their target is to reach as many rural communities in Ghana as possible. Elikim Aku Kunkbe for Joy News.
And that's how we cap off the news. But before we leave you, let's leave you with some NSMQ. 13 years after St. Louis Senior High School last appeared at the semi-final stage of the competition, they have made a historic comeback to that stage of the National Science and Math Quiz. They beat Ashanti Regional Champions Anglican Secondary School and Wesley Grammar School in a 26-point win. Here's Jacqueline Ansomayebwa, who caught up with the students of St. Louis after the contest. And that's how we cap off the AM News.
We shall always be the best among equal. The integrity of the nation depends on us. Prosperity depends on us. St. Louis, the best and the primus inter pares. We shall always be the best among equal.
Well, we just ended today's contest with St. Louis crowning the day with some 50 points. They just won against their regional champions, Kumasi Anglican School.
We are expecting more and more next time. Thank you very much.
All right, so just as the students are saying, we should expect more hits from them. Now, today, moving forward, we've had Wesley girls kick out other schools, and we've had St. Louis also kick out Kumasi Anglican. But I'm still here with the students too. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling so happy. We are so feeling good. We are thanking God because everything is not our might or power, it's by the grace of God. And as the old Spanish saying goes, "Que sera, sera," what will be, will be. We have won the cup already. This is just the beginning of our glory.
All right, this is just the beginning indeed. Now, were you expecting this win today?
Okay, yeah, with God's grace, I knew we would win. And by God's grace, we've been able to also win the contest. So we give all the thanks to God.
All right. Now, moving forward, what should we expect from St. Louis? Okay. Because now it looks like you and Wesley girls are the only girls' school right here in Ghana taking all the ladies' schools in Ghana. You're taking us high. So what should we expect right now?
Okay, so we know that with God we'll be able to move further, and as we are moving further, it will be a tougher condition, but a tougher competition. But we know that with God everything will be possible. So we are counting on God to help us to win the competition.
But tell me more. As a student right now, how are you feeling? Comparing what you heard your competitors say about your school.
Okay. What I said was that we have to relax because Kasa am from. So we kept quiet and we relaxed till the contest started. So we knew that our girls are already good. And then by God's grace, we had God's favor upon us. That's why we won today. But I also want to say that no one should underestimate any girls' school. Because at this point, everyone is trying.
They're proving to us that they really deserve this trophy. And you all saw what happened here. They lashed the Anglicans severely. You all saw everything. So we are not surprised to see them qualifying to the next stage at all.
How did you feel when you heard the Kumasi Anglican students calling your ladies that they came here for a beauty pageant? How did you feel?
Really? Then I didn't hear that.
I'm telling you now.
For a beauty pageant. And what did they come here to do? To sing Anglican hymns. Did they come here to sing Anglican hymns?
They are beautiful girls with brains. That's what they have to know. They are beautiful girls with brains. Yes. They are not just beautiful. They have brains as well. Yes. And it works. And we all saw what they did here.
Exactly.
So I told you, after the contest, I'll come back again. Yeah. And I came, and I'm proud of the girls too.
Moving forward, do you think this year your girls are winning? Because 30 years on, National Science and Maths Quiz, we've never had a girls' school to win the contest. But do you think that this year, this time around, your girls will be the ones to raise that flag high?
Well, they can still win. I'm still optimistic, sorry. And let me tell you one thing. You know, they eliminated the Central Regional Champions, and now they've eliminated the Ashanti Regional Champions. What does he have to tell you? We are now waiting for the Greater Accra Regional Champions. You understand?
But you are a Warriors. Yes. You are also about to have your contest. Yes.
Tomorrow.
Assuming you guys meet, what would be the face for you? Are you supporting your girls or you're supporting boys?
Yeah, we'll definitely be supporting.
Well, with that one,
assuming there's a likelihood that you guys are meeting.
Well, with that one, of course, I would support my school. But then if they are to win, I'll be happy for them.
Yes, you'd be happy for them. You let love winning.
Yes, possible. Not necessarily love winning, but then I would support my school, as I'm saying. But then if they are to win, I would be happy for them.
Okay. Sure. Okay, so I'm still here with the students, the boys supporting St. Louis Senior High School.
Welcome back on the AM show. It's a Monday morning, time now for us to get into the newspapers. And this segment is always brought to you courtesy of Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. Now, here's what they're offering you. If you're a man, they're offering free prostate screening. You'll not get this anywhere. If you're a woman, they're offering you fertility screening for free. Just make your way to any of their branches. Here in Accra, it's Pentex opposite the Shell signboard. There's Kumasi Kronumabwe here behind the Angel Educational Complex. There's Takra Dianaji State, Tema Community 22, Techiman Hanswa and Siaman Zama. Their call lines 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. But just the start of the news review, and we're joined by Senior Lecturer at the University of Cape Coast School of Business, Sairam Kawo. Mr. Kawo, a very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
It's really good having you join the conversation this morning. A lot has happened, and a lot of which we've spoken about. Is there any topical issue that has struck you over the course of the last week into this one? Of course, there's also the issue of the UTV attack, and recently the attack on a City FM or City TV journalist by a member of the NDC. So it appears with our political parties, it's attack in and attack out. Any attack on the media will be brought to the fore, will be dealt with, and, well, I don't know what your thoughts are on that or any other matter that has arisen over the last week, and then we can get into the papers.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the attack that we saw over time was simply an act of indiscipline. Indiscipline in the sense that you do not go and attack the media on the programs that they are turning out. There is the need for all of us to respect the sanctity of the media, to ensure that we promote media freedom, and also to allow the media to do their own work. If there are ways that we disagree with what the media is doing, that is not the right way to go about it. And that attack is condemnable, and we need to ensure that this will not be repeated going forward. The other issue that caught my attention is the spillage of the Akosombo Dam water. That spillage has caused a lot of havoc. It has actually affected the various communities. Households are affected, businesses are affected. We have schools and hospitals that have been closed down. Farmlands are taken over by the flood. The people are left to their own to decide what they are supposed to do. You can imagine a situation where you have manhole, you have septic tanks that are all over the place, cemeteries are all over. The health situation is very critical. It also tells us that as a country, we are not ready for disaster management. It is very sad that we will not be able to manage the issues of disaster that we have. At this point, I was expecting that government declare a state of emergency in that particular area, looking at water levels and the whole community being wiped off. What I can do at this point is to appeal to individuals, companies, philanthropies, both within the country and outside the country, that the people of Volta region, especially the people of Mepe, Ajidome, all the areas down to Sogakope are being affected. The water levels have even gone far to Adan and Anglogan, Keta area, and all those places are also being affected. And so we appeal to people to help these people in any small way so that they can get food, water, sleeping place, and then after that, then they will think about how they can recover their lives. And as a country, this is the time for us to rethink. We shouldn't be reactive when issues like this happen. I'm being told that the president is about to visit the place.
Indeed.
Do we have to wait for the president? Don't we have ministers of state to go to the place and ensure that they see to it that people are relieved? People's properties are being destroyed by the water. Hotels are being closed down. Hospitals have to evacuate people from their facilities to different places. So it is a disaster that we shouldn't just take for granted.
Well, thank you for sharing those thoughts, and you couldn't have said it any better. Indeed, I feel we've been so lethargic in our approach, which has always been the case. And you cannot really blame NADMO. They have so many logistical constraints. Sometimes if you're sitting from afar, you would bash them a lot. But when you get in there and see the difficulties they have, you cannot give what you do not have. That quod non habet. That's the Latin for it. So they are handicapped, and where they're supposed to be resourced, they don't get the resources from there, and these things happen. You remember the incident at the Dolly Bridge? Similar issues, up north. Those who were affected by what they felt was the spillage of the Bui Dam, which wasn't the case. But so many interesting stories in there. It's always the tail of the tape. And I don't know really. But you made mention of that story about the president's visit. The Daily Graphic captures it. It says, Akosombo Dam spillage. President visits flooded areas today. Another thing for me is how our leaders, I have seen leaders from other parts of the democratic landscape globally cancel vacations, cancel so many important functions to return to their country when some disasters happen. In our country, that doesn't happen. And even when our leaders are in the country, there are things that will happen and you will not hear a peep from the presidency. But let something happen abroad, then you see them. Oh, earthquake here. Oh, yes, we're trying to paint an international picture. Oh, George Floyd. Oh, yes. Let's put our hands up and show something that we too are representing. But things happen locally, and you see no response until some of these things happen. But according to that story in the Daily Graphic, President Akufo-Addo will visit the districts severely hit by the floods occasioned by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam today. The president, who returned to the country last night after a 4-day official duty in the United States, will be joined by members of the Interministerial Committee set up by the government to help address the havoc caused downstream by the Akosombo Dam spillage and help bring relief to those affected. Now, The tour will enable the president and the committee to assess the destruction caused by the flood and its effect on the people in the various communities. Are we saying that as of now, we do not know the full extent of the destruction caused by the floods? I don't know. But your take with this new dynamic, Sayram.
It's really a sad issue, because that gave us respect them. We need to take their warfare into account. And as a country, when the spillage was going to be done, I think we should have had a deep assessment and plan on how we are going to look at it. The president would have cancelled his visit, because I think we are in the third or fourth day of this disaster happening, and come and show us that he is committed to the ideals of the country that he is leading. But unfortunately, they are now going. You asked the question rightly. Are they coming to tell us that they are now going to assess the impact? There is a story that is also saying that the DC is saying that they are planning to evacuate. Planning to evacuate at this time? Is that what?
Hello, Sayram. All right. We seem to have lost the connection to Sayram Kawa. We'll get that back on stream. But he was posing the question, are we saying that we're now going to assess the situation? He was making mention. Sayram, we lost you for a moment. You were saying something about now planning something. Please go ahead.
Yes, I was just asking myself, are they now planning to go and assess the situation? The DC is saying that they are thinking of evacuating when the people are already suffering. No, we should wake up as a country. We cannot do this to ourselves. We cannot continue this way. It's time when this thing happen, or it will happen, we find a safe haven for these people and put them there. Provide them with sanitary items, food, water, shelter. These are the basic needs, necessities of life. We provide it for these people. So the president is going to the place to visit them. Oh, I know you have suffered this. We are sorry. We're coming to do this. There is a more serious issue to deal with when this thing goes down. Those are the plans that we are expecting our leaders to put in place. What is the disaster? What kind of organizations are we bringing on board, and experts in this disaster management we are bringing on board? It's sad. You've seen a statement issued by UTAG, University of Ghana branch.
Yes, I
saying
have.
that there are a lot of experts in the various universities. This is the time government will have to call on these people. And they will come in easily, handy, without asking for money to save situations. But at any point in time, we wait till these things happen. People suffer. We go and have fanfare, talk about it. But nevertheless, it's good the president goes there, and then those who are there, who have not taken the right actions, must be shown the exit. If you are a DCE of the area, if you are the regional minister of the area, and the president appoints you, you are the eye of the president in that particular area. You don't have to wait for the president to come, and then you are seen to be working. Now, why did the president appoint you?
Right. Those are very valid questions you're posing there. In the meantime, my brothers and sisters in that part of the country, in that part of the Volta region, along the Volta Lake, are going through excruciating pain. Some of the women are at that time of the month where their blood flows. I know it's pretty early in the morning, and some of them have not even, per the stories we've heard, not even been able to have a good bath, have a proper change of clothes because of the situation. So basically, the dignity of our people is being compromised on the back of this. But this is Ghana for you. I always say that we should always thank God, because we're a country that wants to pray about everything. Other countries pray and they work. There are even countries that you may say are not very religious, yet they do what they do. God will do his bit, but not what you can do for yourself. There are things that we must do for ourselves, and then God adds to it. It's like that proverb in Chi. So if you don't climb that good tree, if you don't do the things that must be done, you will not get that push. And we keep being a prayerful country without action, without thinking in some regard. Every year, it's a series. We know there'll be the spillage. We know some of these things will happen. We'll sit on our rears, our behinds, and wait. And when disaster strikes, then we'll go and pay a visit. We'll do the talk shop, go back, and the people will still be in the mud.
We need to change this paradigm.
We definitely need to. But Sairam, let's get a move on to other stories. New measures to boost growth outlined. That's according to Kojo Ponkroma, Minister of Information. Maternity-paternity bill presented to Parliament. Speaker urges consensus among political parties in nation building. And there's also ECOWAS urges calm in Liberia. Let me take a quick look at some of these stories, and then we shall quickly make tracks. I'll go on the international front later, but let's do pages 13. And then we'll go to 36 for the Liberian situation. All right, so here we are. The president, I think I was rather looking for the maternity bill story, which is supposed to be on. Yes, there it is. So a private member's bill proposing an amendment to extend maternity leave from 3 months to 4 months has been introduced in Parliament. The bill, which is seeking to amend the Labour Act 2003, that is Act 651, is also proposing an option for an additional 2 weeks of maternity leave in the case of a cesarean section, a stillbirth, or multiple births. Now, the Labour Amendment Bill 2023, also known as Parental Leave for All, is also pushing for the introduction of a paid paternity leave, which pertains in other countries, in other countries in Europe, for men for a minimum of 7 days and a maximum period of 4 weeks, with the option of an additional 2 weeks in case of cesarean, stillbirth, or multiple deliveries of spouse, and to provide for related matters. I feel this is a massive step in the right direction. I passed through Hacho over the weekend, and I was with a father with his 2-year-old. She's full of energy, full of activity, but he was alone for a brief period. It is not easy dealing with children, especially when they are newborns and everything to do with it. You can't expect one person to do that work. This makes sense. Other countries are doing it, and I feel it is high time Ghana went that way as well. Just to ensure, though, that we don't have people abusing the system, but it's the right way to go. Let me now go to page 36, and then we'll say goodbye to the Daily Graphic. ECOWAS urges calm in Liberia, and ECOWAS has appealed to Liberians, particularly political parties, candidates, and their supporters, to remain calm and patiently wait for the official declaration of the results by the National Elections Commission. It reminded candidates and political parties of the commitments made within the framework of the revised Farmington River about their decision to abide by the rules and regulations governing the polls and use legitimate means to address all their challenges. This was contained in a preliminary statement issued by ECOWAS and signed by the head of its observer mission in Liberia, Professor Atahiru Jega. And he commended the high sense of patriotism exhibited by polling staff, the security forces, and the general populace. Now, amidst the rain and everything, the process still went on, but Liberians sitting on tenterhooks as they await the declaration of results. Any reactions to these stories, Sairam?
Okay, thank you very much. I will take the first one on the maternity leave and all the related issues. As you have said, you couldn't have put it much better, that this is a massive boost to the human rights issues and proper values that we want to create for the family. The family holds a very important space in our national development. And so the period of 9 months carrying pregnancy and making sure that the child grows within that period. And then 6 months when we have been talking about exclusive breastfeeding of our children. One person cannot do it all. We may not have the mother doing it. And so there is the need for the support of the father as well. Fatherhood is also not easy, just as motherhood is not easy. At this very important time, our women go through a lot. They have issues of depression setting in. When there is a cesarean section, and you have actually witnessed that particular one before, you would understand that our ladies go through a lot of pain. And that is where the men come in to help. These days, a lot of families are working, so you may not be able to get the needed help to bond with the mother and then the child at that point in time. And so it is important that this is extended, and I'm exceedingly happy for fathers who would be able to assist. As you said, as fathers, we are not supposed to abuse the system. That is the time you take to also have care for the child. You bathe the child, you take the child to the weighing that we call it, and once you get there, I have been in that situation, and you always see me bathing my little baby, carrying her for the weighing. You go there, and everybody is looking at you. They will set you aside, see to you in a matter of 5 minutes, 10 minutes. They see to you, and you leave the place. And sometimes, if you even go there with your wife, they attend to you early, and then you come home and do the things that you want to do. Sometimes in the night, the mother is not sleeping. You may be sleeping. During the daytime, you may carry the baby and support. So when this thing is given, it boosts your confidence in making sure that you love your family. It makes sure that you are happy. When you return to work, it increases your productivity. It increases your relationship that you have with anyone that you have. So it's something that we need to actually encourage and make sure that this is done for all of us, just as it is done in other countries. There are some countries that will even have a situation that a break. So at one point in time, there is a break period. Everybody goes home and meets the family before they return to work. We need to look at some of these things that will make sure that our productivity, the mood at workplaces and all those things will come up. On the Liberia story, we have a history of war in Liberia. And those of us in Ghana, if we hear of Bujumbura, Liberia camp in Ghana, it is as a result of wars that they have faced. They know the devastating effect that wars can bring, disagreements can bring, chaos can bring. And for that matter, they have gone through the election. It has been peaceful. We've not heard of any serious issues of people fighting here and there. And so we would appeal to the Electoral Commission in that particular country.
Right.
Just as it is done in all other countries. And ECOWAS has said it all. They should remain calm. The results would have to be released. And these results should not be delayed. As soon as you are delaying the release of the results, then you are bringing some form of anxiety.
Right.
And once people are anxious, anything can just happen. So they release the results timely, and then they make sure that the winner takes over, and then they run the country. They have a lot of work to do.
Right. Let's get into other papers now.
Once they have a lot of work to do, there is the need for them to just remain calm and use the processes that have been established to ensure that the right thing is done for them to be happy and develop that particular country. When they are well developed, we are happy. We can go there, they can come here, cross-border trade and all those things will go on. But where there is chaos, we are already suffering in our country, and we will not be able to get them to come in.
Right. Let's wrap the conversation, Seyram, with some stories from the Ghanaian Times. and the Daily Guide, as well as the BNFT. So the Ghanaian Times also talks about the government rolling out restoration plans to save lives and property in communities along the lower Volta Basin. It also reiterates the story about the GJA and the Ministry of Information condemning the attack on City FM and their TV reporter. There's also Mr. President saying support Africa's fight against terrorism and violent extremism. That's the president appealing to world leaders. But if you take note, so the NDC has also condemned this issue on the City FM and TV reporter. It says the NDC regrets and condemns the attack on Ekosia Otri in no uncertain terms, the statement said. However, I'll put it to Sami Jemfi and his team. Condemnation is not enough. This person, whoever perpetrated these acts on a member of the media, must face the full rigors of the law. That's how it must be. It doesn't matter which side it is. The law must take its course. And so let's be willing to cooperate with the law on that. And the Ministry of Information last Friday condemned the assault on City FM or City TV reporter during the vetting of the Ododo Diodo parliamentary candidate of the National Democratic Congress in Accra. So those stories there. Then you go to the Daily Guide newspaper. I betrayed MPP for Mahama, Nyaho Tamaklo says. And interestingly, per this report, at that last meeting together with Brigadier General Nunu Mensah, it says, retired of course, it claims that Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, a former member of the MPP, and they say former, he says he's not, that he left the ruling party to support the flag bearer of the opposition NDC because ex-President John Dramani Mahama was his nephew. And just to wrap the conversation, the Business and Financial Times, there is also enhanced framework for monitoring remittances. That's according to a study, and genetic science is the future of food security. There's also how easing inflation might impact government refinancing costs. That's how we'll cap off the news review. Any final words for us, Seyram Kawo, as we leave?
All right, thank you very much. I think on the issue of the media attack, we have said it earlier on, those who were involved should be brought to book. They must be made to face the law. Yes, the fight against terrorism is not enough for us to say that the external parties should come and help us. They should give us money to fight it. We must also start fighting that fight ourselves. We shouldn't just leave it like that. And the rescue plans, yes, we've spoken much about it, but we should be proactive rather than being reactive when these issues come up. We want to monitor remittances for what? To tax them? We are already taxing them. And so, yes, remittances have been coming, and then the banking sector takes record of all these remittances that we get. We may use it to see how, when these people are coming in, we can give them some tax rebates that they have. Yes, for politicians, crossing carpets and helping each other is something that is good. Where it suits them, where they think they are going to benefit from, they put their card on that particular table, not necessarily because of the politics that come with it. Right. And when you look at the issue of our Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo saying that he went because former president was the nephew, it lies with him to make that decision. Has he regretted that decision, or he still believes that he is the best person that he has to support, not because he's from my family? It brings a lot of issues about family issues, tribalism, nepotism in our political
well, at least we know that they can always make those choices. But we're grateful, Seyram Kawo, for joining us this morning for the newspaper review. He's a senior lecturer at the UCC School of Business. He joined us as we got into the papers. Up next, we have sports with Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. But before we go, Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic helping us bring you this segment. Go there if you're a man. They would actually scan you for prostate issues for free. If you're a woman, fertility issues for free. Locate them at any of their branches. Here in Accra, they're at Spintex opposite the Shell signboard. Kumasi, Kronumabwe here behind the Angel Educational Complex. The Stakwade Anaji State, Tema Community 22, Tichiman Hanswe and Siama Nzama. Their call lines 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. End Point Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. Sports up next.
Residents who are currently being housed in the various schools in Mepe and its adjoining community are still battling with a lot of issues that need to be urgently addressed by the relevant authorities as they keep hope alive. At the St. Kizito School and the Roman Catholic School, where one can only go by crossing the flood water, women were seen cooking for their families while the men went about transporting items to their safe havens. Some of them have been speaking with Joy News.
Here I am hosting almost 20 households, and in each household, people in one household is averagely, I can say 6 in each household. So when you want to take a creditor, meaning about 5 to 6 households are in one room. Those who are sleeping outside are not part of it. So today we pray to God. The army came for one intervention that they were putting up the tents so that some of the people can be sleeping in. The people are greatly affected. Food to eat, water to drink, because the water has been polluted. All the toilet facilities were taken out by the water. So you could see the refuge dams were all taken. So the people cannot get water to drink. Even if you bring 1,000 bags of sachet water, it will get finished. No water, no food. We want them to help. And we are not asking of already cooked food. That you bring the food item, the people will cook it. But providing food in, how do we call it, take away, and asking 2 people to take 1, it's nice so. But if they provide the food, the people, rice, oil, the people can cook it themselves.
Now we decided to visit other schools where the affected residents are putting up with their families in the night just to assess the real situation on the ground. And what we saw was really terrible and very sad. Let's hear from them.
Matriz donc ngazan lo senya mkiam botanga sana ke bodo ko ilmu ko ma ko dimina no tata obasalo ye ke nyamwa amniki halapi amuhadu gutami daranule la ko shinu ko ala gutafu yema no mo pa be finsina na nani amu ko bahalo.
Since the emergence of the flood, houses have been submerged, so accommodation for people have become so difficult that I have to leave my shop for colleagues to also relax, since they have no place to sleep. So for the past 3 days, they have been sleeping here, and work too is now hot. Work is still more coming because of the submerged houses. ECG thought it wise to off the light for safety reasons. So we're asking that government should come to our aid so that they can put things in place for us to get back to our old time.
And with their latrines submerged, sanitary conditions are fast getting worse and the fear of outbreaks is palpable. Stella Kumaju is the Volta Regional Environmental Health Officer.
Environmental Health Officer, Volta Region, we came to assess the situation in North Town District, precisely Mepe Town. We came to where they said is the safe haven, and so I asked to look at their toilets. If you see what I saw, very terrible. Even the path leading to the toilets is overgrown with weeds, and it will not encourage anybody to pass through. To all well-meaning Ghanaians, our development partners, to come to the aid of people in the affected districts. We can arrange for mobile toilets for them. We can also arrange for Dignilu or any type of toilets that is safe, convenient, because if we don't do this, I fear that in the very near future, we'll be recording outbreak of diarrheal diseases, which also will be another disaster.
Now this is the only thing I have. My cooking utensils, everything got drawn. Even our roofing sheet is very small for the roofing sheet to start showing. You can't even see the roofing sheet again. So we are pleading. Even our school fees, we don't have anything. The small that we have that we use to support ourselves has finished. So we are calling on the government to come to our aid. Otherwise, we don't know where to start and where to end it.
So you've been here for how many days?
A month now.
I mean, the situation that happened, they brought you to this school?
4 days. 4 days now.
Tell us the experience here.
Oh.
Place to bath, I mean, where to poo-poo. And
the bathing there, I can't remember the last time. Since the thing has started, I've never bathed. Because there's nowhere you fetch the water to bath. Even the water that you can't even fetch, not to talk of bathing. That's the whole thing. And some of the ladies, they are in their menses, and how they will bath, change themselves, nothing. They can't do anything. So maybe they'll be in one part. As I'm talking to you now, me myself, I'm also a victim. Thank you.
So share with us the fact that you are sharing the same room with different people that you don't know, cross-infection and all that.
Because of how the flood is moving, when you hear that it's somewhere here, you need to move to the other side. If it is here, you have to move to party B. We are just running, just to save our lives.
Okay. As I'm talking to you now, over 7,000 people have been affected. There's nowhere to cook. The community, especially the cemetery sites, the toilets, they haven't been submerged. So it affects the water entirely. So now when they bring food items like this, where to cook those things becomes a problem. So we want government to set the people with hot meals thrice in a day. For sure, the spillage continues. So we don't know where it will land us. So we know there is an affordable house at Chopoli over there. It is better the government convey everyone over here to a safer place there, so that we can stay there for a while. When this problem is over, we can come back to resettle over here. So this is what we are demanding the government to do for us. Come and convey everybody, take to Chopoli, the affordable house over there, for us to stay there and then live comfortably.
The impact of the dam spilling is quite adverse over here at the lower Volta. BRA has already collaborated with NADMO to bring relief items. But what you are seeing now, we seek to intensify our humanitarian efforts to bring in more relief items. So that is what you are seeing here. So basically, we are targeting 9 districts in all. We joined NADMO to donate the first batch of items at Central Town, that's at Didobe. We are here now at North Town, and we'll be looking at the other districts. So basically, we have food items like rice, mackerel, and then some cooking oil, and then sanitary things like toilet rolls, etc. These are, different items that we're sending to the different areas. I must also say that we have a water tanker in the locality, that is supplying potable, clear water to all the affected people, especially those who have been moved to the safe havens, as well as the households who need that service. We have promised that we are going to be with the people until this storm is over. As I said earlier, we've already donated to NADMO to supply some relief items, and we are intensifying it, as you can see here. So we are committed to make sure that throughout the storm, we bring relief to the people who have been evacuated from their original homes until this flood recedes.
Well, on the back of that development, we shall be connecting with Carlos Caloni, my colleague. He is actually touring with the team that will be going to that area again today. Carlos, a very good morning to you. Thank you for joining the conversation. What's the latest you can report? You've been there before. You've seen the situation. What's the latest you can report to us on that disaster? All right, we'll connect to Carlos Caloni shortly. Carlos, hold on for me. Let me bring in Amos Ahorsu, who is assemblyman for the Mepe electoral area. Amos, a very good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining.
Good morning, sir.
I know these are really hard times. Paint a picture for us. What has it been like for the members of your electoral area, your community, over these last few days?
Thanks so much for the opportunity, and good morning to your cherished listeners. Actually, the situation on the ground is not the best. Since the flooding, homes have been submerged into the river body, properties and all that. So some of us are seeking refuge at the safe haven that was created by GIA and Admont for us. Some are currently there, and others are also in the town, and others are also trapped in some of the small areas, small islands that they can find themselves. And also some are in campuses, others are in Bato, Azeimed, and Sege, those areas. So the situation on the ground is not the best. Also, our water bodies have been polluted, and you can't have access to it. When you take it, it means you contaminate yourself. A whole lot of problems. But as the gentleman was saying, they started bringing us some relief items. Yeah, water. They are trying their best. But, we still need more because there's no other alternative for us. We can't go to farm. Feeding is becoming a problem. And looking at the population of the community, they are trying their best anyway. But we need more philanthropies to come in to make things viable because the situation on the ground currently is not the best. And I also thank God that the water, the way it started coming, has been stopped. For some time now, and there's no assurance that maybe they will be spilling it again. But we are only praying that it shouldn't rise up at the other side so that they also spill it to us. That is our present prayers now.
Right. I've also heard talk of, looking at the footage from the community, it is really sad. All of you have had to leave. I have heard talk of wanting to move to the Saglemi affordable housing unit. Have you officially communicated that to government, apart from what has been said to our cameras? Have you officially communicated that, especially as Mr. President is coming into the area today?
Yeah, actually, as they came, the enforcement and other bodies came yesterday. They have some meetings with our traditional council, and I'm sure that that request will be put before them.
So you're
hello?
That will be communicated?
Yeah, I'm very sure that will be communicated because we were told that when things come to west, then we need to be evacuated. You see, so let me just say, I'm sure the authorities will do that. My traditional council will do that.
Is it also to say that some of the members of the community did not take the right precautions? We know that this has not happened in about 50 years, this kind of destruction, the level of destruction and the flooding. So some may have taken it for granted that it was just going to be another spillage. Unfortunately, it has turned into this situation. What would you say to that?
Yeah, actually, GIA have tried their best in the first place to put the signboard there, symbolizing safe haven and evacuation center. And more so, it was 11th May that they came and do simulation exercise by creating awareness that it can happen. In case it happens, where should be your safe haven? But it's a long time now. Whenever they spill, it doesn't come like this. So just people just take it as a normal. When I communicate to them, they thought maybe I'm lying to them or whatever. Even I myself, I didn't know that it will come very high this way. We just think that it's just a normal thing. But you see, where I bring VRA was that after those exercise, mounting of a signboard and a simulation exercise, the people did not understand. So you forgive intensive education for them to know that what you are saying is true. You see, we are laymen, technicalities that surrounding their work, we don't know. So despite I do go to their state conferences, but you see, as human as we are, whatever I tell them, they thought maybe I'm lying, and people even raise insults on me. I just thank God today that the situation is like this, and we have all seen the reality. So next time, we have to plan towards it very well, because human activity is also a factor. And that is if you want to look at it in a broader perspective. Yeah, their part, the VRA, part of the VRA, our part, and part of the loss of the VRA says we should stay 100 meters away. If that is also in place, then they should assist us that even if we want to put structures close to the river, it shouldn't be permanent structures like that, as we've been seeing now. It should be a temporary one forever. And the sun winning activity, I am not in support of it. We should have dredged the river, to dredge the river bank, so that it will serve as a wall to us. So after everything, we have to look at it in that angle.
Right. I'm just curious, though. Are you accepting any of the blame as leadership in the community? Because I am told that some of your members of parliament and other leaders were on hand to engage the VRA. You are saying that you are laying a large part of the blame at the doorstep of the VRA for not going down with the dissemination of information. But are you, as leaders in these communities, also taking part of the blame? I hear you were communicated with. What's the situation?
Yes, actually, I think that we should also take part of the blame. But you know, the day of the simulation exercise, we started it not long when Honorable Kujetu Abrakwa called me and asked me, Bolo, what is going on? And I said, this is the exercise. And he said he has not been briefed. He's not aware of anything. So things of that nature, if a high power...
Hold on. You're saying that the member of parliament for North Tong, Samuel Okujetu Ablakwa, had said that he was not in the know of any of this that was going to happen in his constituency.
Yeah, he told me point blankly that it's not known to him that there's going to be a simulation exercise in the area. He's hearing it for the first time. Or when the exercise started, that people called him. That is why he also called me to find out whether it is true or not. So I am equally saying, if things of this nature that cannot be known to our member of parliament, then that's I already stated that much awareness has not been created in terms of education. Yeah, I may have it, but what about those women on the ground? The Honorable Kujetu Abrakwa, imagine his caliber. For him not to be known.
Now, I am curious. There are two major points I want to run by you before we take leave of you. The VRA will continue spilling. They have to continue spilling to safeguard the integrity of the Akosombo Dam. But at the same time, further spillage will also mean more trouble for those downstream, those who live along the Volta River. Are these people aware of the further spillages, and what does this mean to them, your people?
Yeah, actually, we were told that it will continue up to 3 weeks. But we don't know how it is going to be like. So I am also of the view that if our people can adhere to it, that what they are telling us is true, then we do all believe in. Meaning myself, I'm living in Bator as I speak. If I see that the situation is getting out of hand, I may move further. So everybody should come in. We should all listen to what they are telling us so that havoc will not be caused.
So for now, in your electoral area, does it mean that everyone has been forced to leave, evacuated?
Yeah, that is the situation on the ground. We were told that we should move to the safe havens. Everybody should move to the safe havens, where they designated for us to live in. If we are there and the things come to where, yesterday there is a place that the helicopter landed. That tells you that if that calls for evacuation, yeah, they will do their best.
In terms of the loss of property, I'm sure because most people have not been able to go back to their houses, and, you know, shops and other things, it will be difficult at this point to assess the level of destruction. But can you give us an idea of how much people have lost in all of this? Because if water has taken over their homes, some buildings have even collapsed. Can you give us an idea of what destruction,
over 1,000
the cost of
buildings
this?
have been submerged, including me myself. Even mine brought down before others. Because where the water passes through, I was very close to that very area. And then within 10 minutes, my building just come down. Because it was just...
Your building has collapsed. So,
yeah, lots of houses, over 1,000. I can't quantify any statistics now. But it has happened to thousands of properties, buildings have been submerged.
Now, what assistance really have you got so far? The last time I heard there were calls for, rice cooking oil so that the people can even cook themselves, make some one more oiled rice or something of the sort. What has been the level of assistance that has reached these people as of this point, as we speak?
Yeah, for level of assistance is increased. They are doing it. But looking at the population, a lot of people are still complaining that they haven't had anything. Others are complaining of just water. Others, food stuff to eat is a problem. So, others are having it. But let's just say, Oliver, it's not enough. It's not enough, to accommodate the situation, the population. So, if they can, people can come in more, philanthropists, they should come in, organizations, NGOs, they should come in to assist us. Mosquito started breeding already. There are women and their children. We need more mosquito nets, mosquito coils, bath salts, all sorts of these things. And then also sanitation-wise, when I go to the Safe Haven yesterday, for me, it's not going to be hygienic, simply because we need this kind of toilets, this mobile toilets, bathhouse, urinal. Zoom Lion needs to come in. I think this is the time. Zoom Lion needs to come in. Just one group and people, yeah.
You say Zoom Lion needs to come in.
They need to come
clarify
in
for me again.
Yes, very urgently. They should.
I am asking the need. You made mention of a need. I didn't quite catch that before you mentioned Zoom Lion. Is it the sanitation situation there?
Yes, sanitation situation, because all our refuse dumps have been filled. Yeah, there's no place to dump whatever. So if there are containers available that we can be doing, when people take whatever, they drink water, that they can dump it. And a toilet facility is not the best at the Safe Haven. Yeah, the St. Vito campus is not the best. It's not the best. People started defecating opening already. And the urinal and all that, because there's no facility, to contain the situation. So if they can come in, so we have those containers in place, yeah, that will help.
All right, so I think I get a fair idea of what you're saying now. So people are now resorting to open defecation and others because there are no alternatives. And in terms of dumping as well, they are facing problems. I've also heard, just to conclude, Amos, I've also heard that some women, even those at that time of the month, don't have access to water to have their baths, to take care of themselves. What's the situation now? Is it any better?
Yeah, for me, it's not good. Even some of us who are working in the water, sometimes when we come out, we see issues and all that. So I don't know why somebody has to be taking baths in this very water now. I don't see the need.
Amos, thank you. Thank you for joining the conversation. Amos Ahorsu is Assemblyman for the Mepe electoral area. Also on the conversation, we have Carlos Kaloni. He's been on the ground. He went sometime last week with the VRA on site, saw part of what had happened. Carlos, if you can hear me, what is the latest you can report? Today, you are en route. You're going to be in that community one more time. But what is the latest you can report to us on the plight of the residents there?
All right, so the latest is that the VRA has deployed a number of teams who are currently on their way to the affected communities. One of those vehicles going to the community. We also understand that engineers are currently on board a chopper assessing the situation from the air. And we also understand that an inter-ministerial committee will be visiting affected areas.
Hello, Carlos. Well, Carlos Caloni there interacting with us. Unfortunately, in that part of the country, he's experiencing some connectivity challenges. But in your shot, you can see there trees uprooted, buildings hurled to the ground, and basically water taking over entire communities. You can only imagine the devastation, level of devastation, the level of, the amount of property that will be lost in this entire debacle. And that is what has happened on the back of the spillage of the Akosombo Dam, which has literally taken over entire communities, forcing everyone out. We were just interacting with the assemblyman for the Mepe electoral area, and for him, his building collapsed in just a short while after the flooding. His, together with many others, thousands of people have had to get out of the area, be evacuated, and those are shots you see from there. We have Carlos Caloni back connecting with us via phone. Carlos, you were making a point.
Yeah, so I was saying that we understand the president is currently on board a chopper assessing the situation from the air, as the VRA has also deployed a number of teams across all the affected areas, including Mepe, South Songwen, and all those areas. Concerns have been raised by those who have been affected with regards to the situation at the various safe havens. But I can say for a fact that the VRA has been forthcoming with relief items. Last week, they donated a number of items to the victims. And we even understand that yesterday, officials of the VRA were in those affected communities. And as well as this morning, some arrangements are being made to actually bring some relief to the people who have been affected in this community. So that's the latest. And today, the Inter-Ministerial Committee is also visiting, and the VRA team will be taking them around to the affected community so they can really appreciate the level of devastation and what they can do to bring some relief to those affected on the ground, Benjamin. So largely, this is the picture from the Volta region, especially the three Tong districts.
How much do we know, Carlos, about the timelines when the further spillages will happen and the readiness of the communities for these spillages? How much do we know? What's the timetable like?
Okay, so the information we are picking from the VRA indicate that spilling is still ongoing. We were informed last time that about 400,000 cubic feet of water enters the dam every second. And out of that 400,000 cubic feet of water, VRA is actually spilling just about 183 cubic feet of water per second, which means that VRA is not even doing half of what enters the dam. And they also give us the update that the dam capacity is left with about 1 foot to get to the brim. And so they are really managing the situation. But the good news is that we understand other floodgates are yet to be opened. And the reason why they've not done that is looking at the situation downstream. They are just managing it. So VRA is actually in a tight corner. While they are trying to protect the integrity of the dam, they are also cautious about how this affects people downstream. And so yesterday night, we picked some information from residents from South Songwen that a van had gone around to inform residents to evacuate. A lot of people are leaving their communities as we speak to other places. Some have moved from Bator, Mepe to Sege area. And so if you come to Sege, you find a lot of residents of Mepe, Bator now residing in Sege. So indeed, the residents are taking the warning seriously, and they are moving from the flood-prone areas.
And so today you are headed in that direction. I know there have been calls as well for them to be sent to the Saglemi affordable housing units. Before you go, is there any other information you've gathered on that? I know the president will be in the community today, but have you caught hint of any response in that regard, relocating the people?
As of this morning, no. But on Friday, I spoke to the Volta Regional Minister, who said that demand is not anything they are considering at this moment. The focus for now is to save life and property. And so at that level, even from the Volta Regional level, it's not a consideration at all. And this morning, we drove past Saglemi. We did not see any such activity as to whether the place is being cleared or prepared to receive affected Ghanaians to that particular place. But indeed, those who have been affected that we've been speaking to, the concern largely has to do with the fact that this water, flood water, is in the community, breeding mosquitoes, and the water is heavily polluted and contaminated, fecal matter and all kinds of things. They believe that the ideal place is for the government to move them away from the community, and they suggested that they want to move to the Saglemi housing place, the site there. Some traditional leaders I spoke to last week believe that the military could have moved into the Saglemi area, clear the place, take the list of the people who have been affected, instead of individually the affected people moving to places like Sigi and all that. The government could have done a more coordinated job by sending affected people to the Saglemi housing site. Well, so this is their demand. We wait to see if maybe after the president's visit today and interministerial committee visit the place, if it's something that the government will be considering, we'll update our viewers on that particular demand made by the resident there.
Thank you very much, Carlos Caloni there, my colleague here at Joy News. He will be on ground today bringing us further information about the situation in these communities along the Volta River, greatly impacted by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam. And this will continue to retain the integrity of the dam. But the question is, what happens to those communities? We'll bring you more on this later on, but up next, after the break, we're going to be contemplating that latest Hotline documentary put together by our own Erastus Asare Donko, titled Poisoned for Gold. The full version airs later tonight at 8:30 p.m. on this channel. We'll also be celebrating his exploits. If you haven't heard yet, our very own Erastus Asare Donko has been awarded the EMY PAV ANSA Communicator of the Year. Well deserved. I doff my imaginary hat to you, Erastus. But that conversation up next with Bernice Abubeit Lanza. Do stay.
Irresponsible mining generates tailings, a byproduct of the sluicing process in extracting the gold. These are done haphazardly without a recourse to environmental safety and protection. Consequently, the heavy metals in the tailings are released into water bodies, the soil, food chain, surface, and groundwater. This type of uncontrolled mining introduces naturally occurring poisonous heavy metals into water bodies like the Pra. The Environmental Protection Agency, in its research conducted on fishes in the Tano River in 2022, revealed alarming levels of mercury.
EPA are also into research.
Dr. Jackson Edia Nyantachi is the Ahafo Director of the Environmental Protection Agency. He spoke at a transformational dialogue on small-scale mining organized by the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Sunyani.
In fish samples that were taken from River Tano at the Dantano area there, I thought I was just doing something simple. But when I realized the levels of mercury in the fish samples, I became so alarmed. I looked at the levels in muscle, the fish muscles, the head, the gills, the eye, and the bones. The highest concentration was in the gills. The bones were also there. So since then, I have stopped eating the head of the fish as well as the bones. I only eat the muscles, and that is it.
There's an actual link between heavy metal found in the soil and food.
Dr. Albert Kobna-Mensah is a research scientist with a PhD in heavy metals in mine-affected tailings and soil, forest, water, and land degradation. He reveals the link between these poisonous metals and food grown from these areas.
I collected samples from Obuasi, areas that are contaminated with arsenic, with cadmium, with lead and copper. And we cultivated the soil in a pot, in a greenhouse. In fact, there were alarming concentrations of heavy metal that were accumulated in the lettuce.
Well, I know you want to see more. I also want to see more, and that's why we'll make a date later tonight at 8:30 p.m. when that full documentary produced by Erastus Asaridonko is aired. And I'm so pleased to have him here. I call him my favorite person, and also because he was adjudged the EMY PAV and Sub-Communicator of the Year at the just ended EMY Awards. Congratulations are in order, my brother. You've done so well. I mean, before we even go into the details of that documentary, I am just curious. Your life has been threatened. You've had to make huge sacrifices, not only for yourself, but your family. Yeah. But you keep doing this. What in the world is motivating you?
Well, if you've been to the field before and you've seen the devastation, you've seen the pollution firsthand, and you get firsthand information that this is poisoning thousands, if not millions, of Ghanaians silently, and they don't even know.
Right.
You cannot sleep on it. And you feel like you owe it a duty to keep on doing what you're doing. Because one, it affects your family, it affects you, it affects your descendants who are yet to come. So the moment we stop, it's like giving into the problem and saying that, okay, let it continue, expecting that a catastrophe will happen in future, and you never did anything about it.
Right. And the other leg of this is that we were hoping that the kind of commitment that we heard government put towards this fight would have lasted at least, even if we didn't see the fight, because this is a fight, really. And you don't expect that, the other parties who are benefiting selfishly will just, throw in the towel. They would also try to put in a fight.
Yeah.
So you'd have expected that at least the level of commitment we saw from the president himself, from, government, the sort of energy that was pushed behind this thing would have lasted. We don't see it. But you say you will still keep up the fight. It's been a long journey coming to this point. You've done stories exposing, top politicians, officials involved. We haven't really seen anything done about that. You didn't give up. Now you've extended the conversation for all of us to understand that we are all at risk if we do not do something. Tell us, beyond what we've seen, some of the important reasons why we should make a date with you at 8:30 p.m. later tonight to see that documentary.
So since 2014, I started following illegal mining, and I've done reports coming in right to this time. I expected, and we don't just do the reports for fun or the documentaries just to get awards or accolades. No, that's not the motivation. We want duty bearers to do something about it, and so far that is lacking. And consistently we are hearing narratives. I'll call them rhetorics. And they keep spinning them to make people believe that we are doing something about it. But on the ground, nothing is being done about it. So we are moving away from, now we've shown you the evidence from last year, from 2018 coming. We've shown you the evidence, the distraction and all that. Now we felt that the focus should be on how that affects you, so that if the duty bearers are not doing anything about it, what are the citizenry doing? And so we want to use this to open the conversation to public health. And indeed, if you watch the documentary today, the first part of it, you'll be seeing how illegal mining is affecting even the unborn baby in your womb.
Right.
So far, Professor Sampene has seen 4 babies. On the ground, we got witnesses who came forward to tell us, yes, I had a baby who was deformed. When we tested, we were told that it's because of the environment. But because of stigma, these people, some of them will not even come on our cameras. So we're giving you evidence that this is affecting even unborn babies. It is affecting young people between the ages of 18 and 30. Kidney-related ailments and all that. So that the conversation will move from just seeing the polluted waters you see around, the destruction in your community, to demanding that government and duty bearers do something about it.
And Erastus, so the conversation even goes beyond the people who live in these communities.
Yes.
Because when you go to the market, your fish is not tagged, is it?
Yes.
So in there, I mean, in the promotions or the promos we've been playing, there's actually one of the scientists who was raising concerns about it. You know, these chemicals even seeping into water bodies that may not be even closely linked to these sites where the Galamsey activities are being carried out.
You remember last year with Distraction for Gold, we displayed the samples of water in front of us. Well, they are murkier than we displayed the other time. This time we're not showing it because we want you to see what is in them, which is not visible to you.
Right.
But then they are there. We fetched samples from all the major rivers, polluted rivers across the country. And we tested them at the laboratory. We found chromium, we found arsenic, we have lead. In some cases, we have cadmium in them, the waters you see flowing around. And this permeates into the soil columns.
Right.
And in fact, we went to some areas, some scientists, Dr. Albert and his people, Professor Ahin, they have done exclusive work in some areas that they shared with us, that they found levels, high levels of mercury, lead, and other things in soil where vegetables are grown.
Wow.
And Dr. Albert, for example, did some tests on lettuce. And the absorption rate by lettuce is so high into the leaves. So it tells you that you could be in Accra,
right.
You could be in Kumasi, you could be wherever. The food, like you said, is not labeled. You don't know where they are grown. You don't know where the fishes are caught. You heard the EPA man talking about his research. So it's something that affects all of us. And so we should move away from talking. We've talked so much. We've talked too much. Let's move into action. Let us see something being done about it. This is an emergency. And government should not be seen to be relaxing.
Yeah, it is an emergency indeed. And I mean, when he was just talking about lettuce and all the vegetables that some of us would rather opt for because we want to live healthy.
Of course.
You may end up poisoning yourself because there's some irresponsible people in our society who are just thinking about making their pockets fat. And so they don't care what happens to you. So basically, what Erastus and the team want you to do is to watch this documentary, please. Don't treat it like any other documentary. This is a call to action, not for politicians alone, because we have relied on them for how many years now, and nothing has been done. It's now time for you and I to see what's at stake for us, okay, and our children, and the crisis that we literally have on our hands, and take the necessary steps. So, Erastus, beyond this, we've said we want Ghanaians to understand what's at stake to pull the. But what's the big dream? Are we hoping to have a certain thought leadership? I know we've been doing this for a long time, but I mean, we cannot give up, can we? We just need to keep pushing.
Yes, and as part of what we are doing, the COO of this company, Kenansa, and Kwaku Sutupra, and Fifi Kumsen, they are putting together a thought leadership program on this, and definitely we'll bring the experts to talk about it. On Joy FM this morning, we're bringing experts to talk about this as well. Mind you, we interviewed this young man, and you'll be seeing that in the first part this evening. He smells gold, and you know that they use mercury. All the illegal miners use mercury, though it's supposed to be banned. They use mercury to trap the gold, and they have to burn the mercury off the amalgam to be able to reveal the gold. And he does this within the community. And research has proven, and in fact, Dr. Eugene Ansa with K University used the mercury air analyzer to analyze the air, common air that everybody is breathing in such areas. And they found high levels of mercury suspended. And you are breathing that. You are exposed, just like the person who is burning it.
Right.
And we have many of these gold smelting points scattered across the country. So what are we doing today? Even the airspace that we breathe. So I think that one, duty bearers should do a large-scale research of the impact of mining on our environment, on public health. And I think they will find solutions to some of the ailments that have been traveling without any solution. And it will inform a health policy that will help all of us live healthily.
But the big dream is to see this end, this whole illegal mining menace, because these people are unregulated. Their activities aren't monitored. You just spoke about the fact that mercury is not supposed to. So how do they access the mercury in the first place? Who is bringing it into the country?
It will shock you to know that it can be purchased on the market freely. Yes, and it's expensive.
So that's another point of it.
Yes.
The availability of the chemical that is killing all of us.
And we have signed, we are part of the Minamata Convention, which seeks to regulate the use or even stop the use of mercury in gold mining. And we are still using mercury across the country. Many of these small-scale miners use it. Government has tried to bring in the gold catcher and trying to encourage more small-scale miners to go into it. But many of them, we have found, say they cannot afford. The machine is expensive. They cannot afford it. And you see, because we are not regulating it, because it's a sector that is not properly regulated, you find that many of them are hiding to do it. Right. And when they are hiding, all manner of irregularities happen. Because then they use the wrong methods and they use the banned substances to attract the gold. But if we were to be regulating it properly, knowing who is where, and be able to monitor very well, just like they're supposed to do, then definitely they will not use mercury or they will not use any unapproved means, because they know inspectors will come around and they will check.
Erastus, you're such an amazing person. I have to be honest with you.
Thank
because, I mean, at least I know firsthand what you've had to go through doing this work, going onto the field, gathering the information, putting his life at risk. And the least we can do is to support his effort. He's one man, but when we all put in our effort, when we all support his effort, then we become a force that is big enough to make a difference. So tonight, simply this, at 8:30 p.m., you're going to be seeing a documentary put together by Erastus Asare-Donko, the winner of the EMY PAV and SAC Communicator of the Year, very well deserved one, I must say. And he will be showing you why you should be interested. He will be showing you why you should not throw in the towel in this fight against illegal mining. He will prove to you why your health and that of your loved ones is at risk because of a few selfish people. I mean, for me, Erastus, anytime I hear you on radio or I see your documentaries, I ask myself, what again do we want to see? And you always take it a notch higher, because, I mean, when I saw Distraction for Good, I was like, wow, that is some good work. And, I mean, we almost felt like we had exhausted all the angles of of the illegal mining menace, and then you bring poison for gold, which takes it a notch higher. But for me, the big question is, and if you're a politician and you're watching me, if you are the president, and I want to believe the president will see this, or the vice president, or the minister in charge of mining, what else do you want to see? What else? This man has shown us so much, and he continues to show us so much. Mr. President, you are even at risk. Your water, your food, everybody is at risk, literally. What else do we want to see? Erastus, I don't know if you've ever felt like that. But
yeah. And I've had some people call me and they ask me, why are you still doing this? But do we stop? The answer is no. You don't stop until what is driving you or what is following you has stopped. And so we will not stop. And in fact, when we looked at this, we found that in some of the babies, we found cyanide. Cyanide is not used by artisanal miners. They are used by the large-scale mining companies. It throws in an idea.
Right.
Which, of course, could be the next point of study or a documentary. So we don't stop. But let me say thank you to 4 fantastic gentlemen. Kofi Asare is my camera technician. He edits the videos you see. He takes the videos you see with my direction. Majid is the drone pilot. Amos, Mike, and Eddie, they are the drivers who takes us to some of these critical areas. And they risk their lives with me. So wherever I go, I want to thank them and their families. And to all those people who have been encouraging us, some of the people, they give us support in so many ways, and they don't even want us to mention their names. They are Ghanaians, and we love them. And we say thank you to all of them. But to the duty bearers, I say, if you continue to spin that narrative that everything is all right, well, the dangers are on the ground, and they are not all right. And it will soon catch up with you. You might think that you are running away from it. You make millions, so you can import water to drink. You can fly out of the country when you need it. It will affect somebody in your family, generations to come after you are dead and gone. So this is the time to do something about it. You can do something about it. It's not like we can't do anything about it. We can. If the president says today that we want this to end, it will end. If the lands minister really means it and he says, I want this to stop and I'm going to do something about it, he can. If the citizens rise and they say, this is affecting us, we want it to stop, we can stop. So are the chiefs. Let's do something about it.
Let's do something about it. Well, join us at 8:30 p.m. later tonight for the first part of the Poison for Gold documentary. But you've heard me say that Erastus Asare Donko just won the EMY PAV and Star Communicator of the Year. Tell us more about that. And I saw you, I think it's the first time I've seen you in a bow tie. I was like, oh, who's letting my brother do this anyway? But
I'm not the type person,
at all. So it was a good
because
one.
I'm always on the field, I call it wretched. I dress wretched.
Yeah. But it was good to see you.
And it's a great honor. And I've received some awards this year.
Right.
The EMI award is good. It's good, and I really like it. It has affected my morale as well. Same as the other awards that we received, the Environmental Sustainability Personality of the Year by the Department of Planning, KNUST. Fantastic one there. The GJA also gave me an award this year, a great one. So we are motivated by it. The CIMG award, and we want more.
Yeah. And also because it helps us, at least reach a certain level of the society as well, because I know that the EMY Awards is one with very, I don't want to use the word elitist, but there's a certain level of network of business people,
exactly,
who are the focal point of this whole award scheme. Right?
Yes, and when you meet distinguished people around the table supporting this cause, the EMI Awards, you see how prestigious it is. And just to know that I did not apply for this award, the knowing that somebody somewhere just sat down, saw what you're doing and said, no, this is good, let's give you an award. It's a recognition that knows no boundaries. And so we welcome that. And to all those who continue to support us, we say, I equal to you, and God bless you.
Yeah, and to all the people who were there, I know, especially those who have certain voices, I mean, because we know that the people with, I pray that they didn't just applaud you, but they would also use their voices to push this agenda, this heartbeat of yours, which is to see that this whole menace is ended. And so thank you, EMY, and thank you whoever nominated Erastus. At least I'm happy I have seen Erastus in a bow tie.
and that is just to also thank the Say Newsroom.
Right.
The Say Newsroom is the Saeed Ali Yaqub newsroom, and may his soul rest in perfect peace. Right. He supported us a lot. I would have wished that Elvis Kwashi would be here to see this. May his soul rest in peace as well. Thank you, Kofi Edudumfe, head of the Say Newsroom, to all the team members in Kumasi, to Ken Ansan, Jim Agla, who has been pushing me to get awards and encouraging me to do this. Thank you so much. To my wife, Adjoa Chiwa.
Hello, Adjoa. It's been a while.
My son Jesse, I love all of you. Yeah. Kelvin and Stella, I love all of you.
Right. Thank you so much, Erastus. And I mean, we just pray that the impact we'd like to see with all the efforts that Erastus and the team have put in comes sooner than we wish, because the longer we wait, the more trouble and devastation
I tell you
is caused.
Yes.
And we don't want that.
No.
We don't want that. So please, we're calling everyone. We're calling you because you have a voice. You are a citizen. You have power. Not only power to speak up, but power to decide who leads us. That is the amount of power we have as citizens collectively. So let's use that power to bring the change that we all desire. And I mean, I wish this conversation will not end, but we have to release Erastus to attend to other matters as well. But Erastus, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I know that posterity will show and will be the best vindicator of everything you've done. And we are so blessed to have you as part of our team. Thank you so much for staying.
My favorite person.
So we'll see you in Kumasi very soon. Hello, Team Kumasi. Our love to you will be there very soon. But it's now time to talk about the National Science and Maths Quiz. And talking about Science and Maths Quiz and this whole illegal mining menace, maybe we should begin a science project for the young people about, how they can also use their innovation, bring up things to solve the real problems that we're dealing with now. That will be interesting. But I'll be back with more on the NSMQ 2023. Do stay.
The primus inter of Paris, we shall always be the best.
Well, we just ended today's contest with St. Louis crowning the day with some 50 points. They just won against their regional champions, Kumasi Anglican School.
We are expecting more and more hits next time. Thank you very much.
All right, so just as the students are saying, we should expect more hits from them. Now, today, moving forward, we've had Wesley girls kick out other schools, and we've had St. Louis also kick out Kumasi Anglican. But I'm still here with the students too. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling so happy. We are so feeling good. We are thanking God because everything is not our might or power, is by the grace of God. And as the old Spanish saying goes, "Que sera, sera," what will be, will be. We have won the cup already. This is just the beginning of our glory.
All right, this is just the beginning indeed. Now, were you expecting this win today?
Okay, yeah, with God's grace, I knew we would win. And by God's grace, we've been able to also win the contest. So we give all the thanks to God.
All right. Now, moving forward, what should we expect from St. Louis? Okay. Because now it looks like you and Wesley girls are the only girls' school right here in Ghana taking all the ladies' schools in Ghana. You're taking us high. So what should we expect right now?
Okay, so we know that with God, we'll be able to move further. And as we are moving further, it will be a tougher condition, but a tougher competition. But we know that with God, everything will be possible. So we are counting on God to help us to win the competition.
But tell me more. As a student right now, how are you feeling? Comparing what you heard your competitors say about your school.
Okay. What I said was that we have to relax because Kasa and Frama. So we kept quiet and we relaxed till the contest started. So we knew that our girls are already good. And then by God's grace, we had God's favor upon us. That's why we won today. But I also want to say that no one should underestimate any girls' school. Because at this point, everyone is trying.
They're proving to us that they really deserve this trophy. And you all saw what's happened here. They lashed the Anglicans severely. You all saw everything. So we are not surprised to see them qualifying to the next stage at all.
How did you feel when you heard the Kumasi Anglican students calling your ladies that they came here for a beauty pageant? How did you feel?
Really? Then I didn't hear that.
I'm telling you now.
For a beauty pageant. And what did they come here to do?
Well,
to sing Anglican hymns. They come here to sing Anglican hymns.
meetings. They are beautiful girls with brains. That's what they have to know. They are beautiful girls with brains. Yes. They are not just beautiful. They have brains as well. Yes. And it works. And we also what they did here.
Exactly.
So I told you after the contest I'll come back again. Yeah. And I came and I'm proud of the girls too.
But moving forward, do you think this year your girls are winning? Because 30 years on National Science and Maths Quiz, we've never had any girls' school to win the contest. But do you think that this time around, your girls will be the ones to raise that flag high?
Well, they can still win. I'm still optimistic. Sorry. And let me tell you one thing. You know, they eliminated the Central Regional champions, and now they've eliminated our Central Regional champions. What does it have to tell you? We are now waiting for the Greater Accra Regional champions. You understand?
But you are Warriors. Yes. You are also about to have your contest. Yes.
Tomorrow.
As you mean you guys meet, what would be the face for you? Are you supporting your girls or you're supporting your boys?
We'll definitely be supporting.
Well, with that one,
you mean there's a likelihood that you guys are meeting?
Well, with that one, of course, I would support my school. But then if they are to win, I'll be happy for them.
Yes, you'll be happy for them. You let love winning.
Yes, of course. Not necessarily love winning, but then I'll support my school as I'm saying. But then if they are to win, I'll be happy for them.
Okay. Sure. Okay, so I'm still here with the students. The boys supporting St. Louis.
It's getting interesting. interesting by the day, and I have been following this keenly. I know you have been following as well. And yesterday, St. Louis put up a really, really good, stellar performance, I must say. If you look at the results that were polled at the end of the day by all the schools that even qualified, Wesley Girls, Achimota, and then St. Louis, they qualified with the highest point, 50. Going into the semis. Well, we've got our fingers crossed. More contests today. I'll be letting you in on all of that. But I've been joined by Makini Ribeiro. She is Head Marketing and Communication at Prudential Life Insurance Ghana. And they make it possible for us to bring you the live broadcast of the NSMQ. Hello, how are you? Good to see you again. You were here last year. Your school is still in the competition. No, Ebri Girls.
Should have asked me last week out of confidence.
Oh, but thank you so much for helping us do this. It's the 30th year of the NSMQ. We've been doing this for a long time. But how long has the partnership between Prudential Life and the whole quiz, how long has that been?
So we've been on board for the last 6 years. It's been quite I'd like to say it's a match made in heaven, because the insurance industry heavily relies on natural scientists who come from the math and science group. So they determine how much money we need to pay for a premium, how much risk the company is taking, etc. So I'm sure you think, what does insurance have to do with science and math? But they're very heavily connected. So for us, it's a good way for us to support this this particular industry, and also give these children some sort of the extra push. Yeah.
Right. And we, for some time now, we didn't have the quiz traveling around, but thankfully the organizers thought, let's take it out of Accra for some time. Let's just go around the country. And you have something special for your clients and prospective clients in Kumasi. Tell us about it.
So we have, we've recently launched a microinsurance product called Mekakrawa. People hear insurance and think it's for the big people. They have to have money, you have to have a bank account, you need certain details. But we've now launched a product that allows you to get insurance for as little as 3 Ghana cedis, so long as you have a phone that has a keypad.
Wow.
You don't need access to the
3 Ghana cedis.
Exactly. 3 Ghana cedis can't afford, you can't buy Chibom right now.
Yeah.
You can't buy a bottle of Coke, but you can buy insurance. And for each of the packages, you get up to 1,000% cover in the event of death, accidental death, injury, any of those critical illnesses as well. So we're going to Kumasi just to make a bit of noise about it, and it just so happens that NSMQ will also be in Kumasi. So it's a win-win for us. We'll make some NSMQ-related noise as well.
But I'm sure there are people watching us who are interested, and we don't have to be in Kumasi. Just tell us a bit about it.
Right.
How do we get on to that scheme?
All you need to do is pick up your phone and dial *778# on MTN. Currently, it's only available on MTN. And you will be able to follow their prompts, just like you buy phone credit, and go ahead and get an insurance package for you and an additional life. It's the least is 3 cedis, the highest is 45 Ghana cedis. And like I said, the cover is up to 1,000% of whatever it is you're paying monthly. So it's a good way to get insurance if you are put off by the paperwork and the long, okay, I need something.
Yeah.
You just need your phone.
Okay.
You don't even need internet access.
*778#.
*778#.
*778#. *778#. Mekakrawa.
Yes.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, another thing I love about our sponsors of the NSMQ, honestly, is how you motivate the contestants. There's a certain Prudential Life Insurance NSMQ Star Award. Tell us about it.
So, just like you said, it's just meant to motivate them. People think about the quiz in terms of who wins, who gets the bragging rights for another year. But each of these schools also has students who are putting in the work day and night, the weight of their teachers and their old students' expectations. So this is just a way to encourage them. If you follow the quiz, every time there's a problem of the day, you have the opportunity to win that money. So if all of them score 10 out of 10, all of them walk away with a cash prize for that.
So far, I think only one school has scored 10 out of 10. I mean, for the ones that I have watched.
Yeah, this year I haven't seen as many yet, so please. this is a challenge to you.
So all of you going to contest in the subsequent competitions.
That's free money.
Free money for you. So it goes to the school or it goes to the students directly?
It goes to both of them.
The school and the students, right? Okay. So we've been talking about the quizzes. We also spoke about yesterday. Wesley girls at Chimota and St. Louis have qualified for the semi-finals of the competition. I don't know if you caught up with any of them or what your thoughts are.
I've been following. I am excited about St. Louis. I think it's. I always like it when there's an unknown variable in it. It makes things exciting, just like last year with Keta. And I'm looking for
this year they're putting up a good performance as well.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what the final three would be like. I'm excited. Just the social commentary alone just. It keeps me quite entertained.
Yes, it does. And we can't rule that out. That's the good thing about the National Science and Maths quiz, is that there's a way it just affects everybody's vibe, you know. Even if your school is out. My school didn't go, unfortunately. And Fantaman, we couldn't go this year, but hopefully we'll go next year. But I was supporting Adisadel, you know, because they are a boys' school. And then this year it wasn't too good from Adisadel. And we had all the trolls and all.
That's one of the things that excites me, that you can't accurately predict what would happen.
Yeah.
There's always something that could.
Definitely. So, I mean, we'll be showing you quickly the schools that will be participating in the contest today. We'll just roll that up on the screen so that you can know what times to look out for the competition. And also how you can follow on social media as well, on Joy Prime on Facebook and on Joy News on Facebook. We will be streaming live also on this channel as well. In about a few minutes, we'll be bringing you that first contest. Are we ready with that? Right, okay. So the first one, Opokuware, Osei Tutu, and St. John's. And then we have Pope John Seminary and SHS, St. James, two seminary schools, and Ebri Presby SHTS. Then we have the third contest, Abetifi. I didn't get the second one. And then the last one was Prempeh College. All right. Okay. Abetifi Presby SHS, Mali School, and Prempeh College. So these are the contests for today, and they'll follow in that order. So in just about a few minutes, we should expect the first one to begin. Quiz Mistress Elsie Kaufman has taken over. So it's getting interesting by the minute. So there's something we'd like to show you from yesterday's quiz. Watch this, and I'll come and wrap up with Malkeni, and then we continue.
So it's still the 30th edition of the National Science and Math Quiz happening right here on the KNUST campus. And in some few hours, we'll kickstart the quarterfinal stage of this particular tournament. But I have the woman behind it all. She brings the excitement to the contest and even the nerve-wracking moments into the contest. I'm talking about Professor Elsie Kaufman. Prof, welcome.
Thank you, Bright.
Prof, I must say I'm really excited to see you today. We are moving on to the quarterfinal stage, and this is where you come into our competition. I want to understand, how has preparations been so far personally for you as you're coming into this particular quarterfinal stage?
It's been hectic, very, very hectic. You know, I have a full-time job, so I combine everything I do with that. And I took some time off to get ready, and I've been working very hard to make sure that the questions are up to the standard and that we will have a good competition. So it's a lot of work, but I'm doing it.
Now, yesterday, it was yesterday, I saw a tweet by you that you can't wait to meet the big boys and girls. I want to know, what was the reason behind, or why excited? Is it that you are so excited to meet these students?
I'm excited every year. This is the third time I have posted something before joining the team. And so the excitement is normal, yes, because at this stage, everyone you meet is a potential champion.
Yeah.
And isn't it exciting to meet champions?
Definitely. It's exciting to meet the champions.
So it's very exciting. Yes.
Okay, I know probably you have been following the contest for this year, and interestingly, we had St. Louis SHS, or the girls' schools, performing so well. Last year, Wesley girls unfortunately lost their seed and couldn't join the seeded schools, but this year they are back, and then we are also having St. Louis. St. Louis managed to kick out at Disadel College. We are talking about the Central Regional Champions. I want to understand, do you feel that the girls are on course to win this year's championship?
You know my hashtag for this year. In fact, from last year and this year is less talk, more action. I'm not going to make any predictions. The girls have always been capable. I don't know what their issues are, but maybe they've solved some of their problems for this year. I have no idea. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Now, Prof, with the performance you've seen so far in the 1-8 stages coming to the quarterfinals, what do you make of it? We are having some new entrants, Yulu Krobo and then Wesley Grammar coming in there. Do you think teachers are putting in place measures?
You've made an assumption that I'm following.
Yeah.
I am not following the competition. If I know something, it's because people have insisted on sharing information with me, mostly scores. But I'm not following the contests. As I told you, I've been extremely busy.
Yeah.
So when I show up, it's a fresh start. I don't have any idea how they even got to where they are. I just know that every school that made it to the nationals had been preparing, and so it's not a surprise that the schools are doing well.
All right, so now, Prof, let's talk about your journey throughout the NSMQ. For 18 years, you've been doing this. Can you share some of the exciting moments you've had, or some of the moments that has made some impression in your life?
Every year is exciting, you know. Every year is exciting. The opportunity to meet with these bright young people and to see them evolve from where they are to what they are doing now. Some of the contestants I met so many years ago, some are medical doctors now, some are engineers. Some decided to go and study my own discipline, biomedical engineering. I'm so proud of them. Every time I see them, I get excited. When they call me and they tell me about their progress, I'm very excited. These are the things that excite me.
Okay.
Usually I don't also remember what happens on stage. So I finish a contest, I'm done. I'm on to the next one. I think it's a coping strategy for me, a good one, because then I don't carry all kinds of things from contest to contest. So I don't usually remember details of contests. I remember the people who keep in touch with me, and then I see the progress they are making, and that's my joy.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because you touched on that, I wanted to ask you, during these years, do you have any favorite contestants on stage, or let's say an exciting contestant who brought always, you know, those times you had the Paul Azure from OWAS, the others, when you started, do you have any?
Meet Paul.
Okay, you didn't meet Paul, but during your time, do you have any exceptional students during your 18 years of being a quiz mistress?
I'm going to have to talk about my mentees, the ones that I have kept in contact with.
Okay.
Some of those are just amazing young people. Some also have been my students at the University of Ghana. Those ones, I will remember them, and I'm very happy to be associated with them, and I'm very happy I got a chance to be a small part of their lives. Yes. I'm not going to name... I have to mention... I can still remember the Egyptians from 2019. Michael,
the Egyptians.
How can I forget Michael? That was exciting, wasn't it?
Very exciting. It's finished.
Yes,
definitely.
yes.
It was really exciting. Now, Prof, let's look at in terms of preparation. So during a contest, you know, most of the time you bring the excitement to the contest during the quarterfinal stage. Your reactions to some of the answers the student. I think I saw a recent video where you asked a question whether chimpanzees, humans are part of one family.
Yes, I actually work harder when the contest is not exciting. Because if it's not only just to come and ask questions and receive answers, it's about educating the public, it's about engaging the public, making sure that people that are watching are enjoying the show. And so when it's a boring contest, I have to work harder by finding interesting things to point out to the crowd. It's also a strategy to relax the contestants.
Yeah.
you know, sometimes it gets very tense up there.
Yeah.
So I may slow things down a little bit, make a comment here or there, just to manage the pace. Yes, so it's all part of it, and I'm also being me. You know, I have to enjoy everything I'm doing. It's just me. I have to enjoy what I'm doing.
I'm enjoying this particular conversation right now. Now, Prof, let's go into the quarterfinals. With the performance of the ladies coming into the quarterfinals, what would you expect from them, or even the schools generally, all of them coming to the quarterfinals?
How many ladies are
Ladies school, we have so far Wesley Girls and St. Louis Senior High School participating in the quarterfinals.
2 out of the 27 seeded schools.
Yes, 2 out of the 27 seeded schools.
I wish there were more.
Yes, definitely. Everybody wished there were more.
Yes, I haven't seen them in competition. As I said, I'm not really following contests, and so I don't know what to expect from them. I will take things as they come. They are contestants just like the young men, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be no special treatment of the young ladies, but of course it will be good to see more representation.
Are we to expect some practical questions during the quarterfinal stage? I know normally you would say it's during the finals that you bring the back, but this is the national science and maths. Should we expect something like that?
Yes, we have practical questions all the time. And maybe I'll try to point some out as we go along.
We can't wait to see Prof continue with the quarterfinals. But I've still got Malkeni Ribeiro with me, Head Marketing and Communication, Prudential Life Insurance Ghana. They make it possible for us to bring you the live broadcast of the NSMQ. They've been doing this with NSMQ for 6 solid years. And before I let her go, I'd just like her to tell us, beyond the Mekakrawa, quite tongue twisting. Mekakrawa, what else does Prudential Life have on offer for us?
So I'm sure NSMQ has shown us how associations are a big deal.
Right.
All the group chats are buzzing right now because of the competition. And we've created a product called PruBuddy. This is a combination of prudential and buddy, meaning friend. And this is targeted at associations. So it can be family group chats, it can be all students associations, it can be a church group. Whatever it is, we have packages that are custom designed for your group. So if you're a group where they're a lot older and so people are dying, we can have a policy that helps you to address the needs of people when someone close to them passes away. To avoid passing around the collection baskets every time someone passes away. People are not sure where the money is going, how much is being contributed. With this, it's clear. You pay something monthly or yearly depending on what you're able to do. And depending on how much you are able to contribute, we give you a set amount that goes to every single person who loses somebody. So it's a good way to, if you're using the already packaged ones, we start from 12 cedis. That's
12 per head, annually or monthly?
Yearly, annually. But if you want to do the yearly one too, there's a calculation that goes into that. So by all means, if you are interested in this, we're available on social media or on our website. Someone will assist you to get in touch with our group business team, and they will help you to find what works for you. There are some people who we're young, so it's people giving birth. It's no problem. We'll package it to suit you. So this is strictly for associations. If you have a friend,
must the association be registered?
You must have some sort of binding constitution. I use constitution loosely. There must be something that's governing the group, so that we are sure that you are clear on what we're using the money for, etc. There's no
so church organization,
precisely,
family, old year group,
everybody,
family associations. You're all welcome to the
students
PruBuddy. The students, so we can do it monthly, annually, whatever it is. There's a tailor-made package for each of these groups. Thank you so much, Mark. Kenny Ribeiro, Head Marketing and Communication, Prudential Life Insurance, Ghana. Don't forget, we have a competition coming up in a few minutes, so do stay with us. I'm talking about the NSMQ 2023. But right now, we will be having a conversation with the engineers, the Ghana Institution of Engineering. You want to stay for that? Hello, thank you so much for staying here on the AM show with me, Bernice Abubedulan. And I'm going to have a conversation that will interest you, trust me. Don't flip the dial. This is a conversation about improving national values, professional practice, and engineering ethics. And it's a conversation being spearheaded by the Ghana Institution of Engineering. And this morning, I've been joined by Engineer Ludwig Hesse. He's on my immediate left. He is President-elect Ghana Institution of Engineering. And to my far left is Engineer Harold Iseku. He's former Vice President of the Ghana Institution of Engineering. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. And what a conversation to have at this time in this country. It's such a huge problem, isn't it? National values, professional practice, and engineering. And I like that you bring national values first, I must say, because it's at the core of everything. Let me start with you, Engineer Hesse. What has the institution identified to be the problem for which this conversation is necessary?
Thank you, Bernice. The professional practice, engineering ethics, it's common to all professions. Ethics is an issue that all professions claim they follow. And as engineers, we have a code of ethics, which enjoins us to be of good behavior in the practice of engineering. So it's not only the technical issues that we look at, but we should also look at the way we do things. The way we behave, how we relate to each other.
The way you get contracts.
The way we get contracts, the way we execute contracts, the way we deal with each other.
Right.
These are all very important to us. And we have had this annual lecture on ethics in our institution for the past 10 or so years. And every year we pick a topic and select an eminent person to come and deliver, and then we expect that our members will follow and help to improve their ethical behavior. But this year we posed the question because we realized that as a nation, we are facing difficulties in the area of ethical behavior, in the area of national values. And the discussion, every time you open the radio, you listen to the radio, the television, private discussions, everybody is talking about corruption, discipline. These are the buzzwords these days. And it cuts across every conversation that you get into these days. And it looks like we are asking ourselves, can we behave better in Ghana? And some people are reducing the whole problem of Ghana to discipline and corruption. And so it looks like there's a certain lack of national value system that we are adhering to. And our proposition is that probably without a good framework of national value systems, we are wasting our time. Talking about ethics in engineering, professional practice in law, professional practice in other fields of engagement. And we think that we should pose the original questions. Are we failing as a nation as far as value systems are concerned? And is there anything that we need to do together to change this story so that it's easier for us as engineers to say we behave ethically because we are behaving within the framework of national values? So really, these are the questions that we want to pose at this lecture this year.
Right. For you, Engineer Seku, what comes to your mind when you think about national values, professional practice? I get the privilege of speaking to older people, and they tell me about what Ghana was like a few years back. And you get a sense that we may have missed the plot somewhere. I'm told about how the bus would arrive at the bus stop at a certain time. If you were not there, you'd miss it. I'm told about how there were town council officials who would come if your community was not clean. So there was a point where we understood or had a system as a people. Where do you think we missed the plot?
Yeah, Bernice, I think over the years, possibly I would say the desire for money. Unbridled desire for money, for wealth, is one of the things that has created the challenge for us. And if you go back, fortunately, as I was in school in the 70s, when the National Pledge was introduced, you could see that, though it was under a military government, you could see the aim was to give us a certain sense of purpose. If you listen to the words of the pledge, it was supposed to, I believe, to galvanize us in a certain way. Of course, as a young child, it was rude. I promise on my honor. But if you actually listen to the words of the national pledge and the national anthem as well, it is something which should galvanize us in a certain direction, to give us a purpose, a focus, direction on how we should behave as a people. Unfortunately, it's become like, almost like what we did when we were kids, reciting it just for the sake of reciting it. And we got to the time when everything was probity and accountability, and it's like, these are the transparency, these are the things that we're all supposed to be doing. But were we? And we are looking at the national discourse from the top.
Right.
What has it been like? And then coming down to us as professionals, engineers, doctors, accountants, journalists. When you say journalists, what comes to mind is Soli, but we are not talking about. We are talking about, for us as engineers, what should we do? Because engineering drives a nation. I mean, we always say that, look, when you look at China, the Politburo, those who actually lead China, majority of them, including their premier, are all engineers. We're supposed to be focused, project management, planning, how to get things to work in the proper way. However, if in the national discourse things are not going well, and as engineers we also do not do the right thing, the country is going nowhere.
Engineer Ahorsu, is it a thing about, I'm going to ask a very controversial question, because I recently heard Dr. Mensa Otabil allude to that. Is it a case that the engineers don't want to be ethical, or the system the engineers find themselves in? It makes it literally very difficult to be ethical.
Yes, it's a system. The system is a difficult system. We have created a non-system, actually, and we call it a system. When I started practicing engineering sometime in the early 80s,
wow.
I joined the Ghana Highway Authority,
Right.
and they have a maintenance management system.
Okay.
Engineer Abisam is still around. He's an old man. But when you go in, they take you through a 22-month training as a young engineer, and you go through all the divisions, and they teach you these things before they let you out to go and practice. You go through training. You go 4 months here, 3 months here, 2 months here, and they tell us how to plan for the maintenance. We do maintenance budgeting. We know if you have a road, potholes will come. You have to patch them. The grass will grow by the roadside. You have to cut it. You have to cost it. How much does it cost to cut the grass on all the roads in Ghana? We are doing this. Where did we go wrong? Today, we build new roads. There are potholes, and you don't see any program for patching the potholes. So they migrate and migrate and migrate. We know that if you build the road and you surface the road, in 6 years, 5 years, depending on the traffic, 7 years, you have to come and resurface it. Because the potholes, you have passed so many potholes, the surface would have come too rough. You have to rip the surface and put on a new surface. These are regular things. Where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong? So these are the issues. We have allowed non-systems to become systems.
Right.
And now, when you ask, we can't pay for anything, and we don't even procure correctly. We don't...
Huge problem in
yes,
Ghana, procurement.
We don't execute correctly. There are so many things so wrong. And when you talk to the engineers, they tell you it's a politician. When you talk to a politician, they say he's a professional. And this debate goes on, and it looks like we are all very happy to have a non-system, and the people who have power manipulate that system to their advantage. And that is what we call corruption. And this is the back of the animal that must be broken. As a nation, discipline and overcoming corrupt behavior, transparency, those very words, they are so important, and we've, unfortunately, the people who brought those things didn't live by them. A champion failed to live by his charter of redemption. Rawlings and his people, 19 years, probity, accountability, and where did we end up? So we have to come back to these things.
Yeah.
Political campaigns should not be about how many roads you will build. How do we bring back the discipline?
Right.
How do we overcome the corruption? I think these are the conversations we need to have as a nation.
Right. So, I mean, you're going to hear a lot more, and this is going to be an interesting conversation you shouldn't miss. And Engineer Eseku will be telling us who will be addressing this lecture, when will it be happening, and how can we all be a part of the conversation?
Thank you very much. So, on Thursday, October 26th, we're expecting it will be live on air. So we're expecting everybody to tune in to join us. And we'll be having Engineer Yao Nsako. He used to be the Vice President of Unilever Africa. He would be delivering the lecture. And we brought him because his experience is wide, covering. I mean, there are many people who didn't know he was an engineer, who thought he was into marketing kind of thing. But I was in the university with him. Originally, he did chemical engineering. I hope he doesn't crucify me if I say original. He's a chemical engineer first, and then his other specializations in marketing, etc. that he does. And the chair for the occasion is no other person than the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, Justice Gertrude Tokonu. Just by the way, she was my English mistress 40 years ago.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Interesting. Isn't it? So the 26th of October, is this, I know this is for the Institution of Engineering.
Yeah.
And so maybe you may have limited space, but we can catch it online.
Yes.
And also on television, it will be on air. And I'm happy to say that the multimedia group is partnering the Ghana Institution of Engineers. You know, we are all about making impact, and these are conversations we've had even here. I've spoken to, members of the clergy, but everybody. We all know what the problem is, but it's more about how do we solve it. And I believe that is what this lecture hopes to address, bring in the solutions. But for engineers specific, what do they stand to gain for being a part of this program, and how do they sign up to it?
Yes, an invitation has been sent to all our members of the Ghana Institution of Engineering, and then they will have a link on it to register. And then when you register, you are invited to come in person. But if you want to join online, you are given the link to be able to join online, so that you can be recognized that you attended. Because it's the attending a national annual ethic lecture gives you a certification, your ethics certification for the year.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you attend this lecture and you are recognized that you attended as a member, then you get your ethics certificate. Okay. And that means that gives you it counts for you in 2024.
Okay.
Right. So it's very important that people should take advantage. It's a very easy way to get your ethics certification if you can demonstrate that you are part of the program.
Yeah. And I believe that one institution at a time, we can also change the narrative, right?
Definitely.
And you want to start from your own institution.
Yes.
Fantastic. But there's just been a lot happening within the space. Unfortunately, last week we had a story about some persons dying in a reservoir in Koforidua. I understand that the institution has a statement on that online and in the papers. Yeah. What are your general concerns? I mean, I cringed. I read that story on the midday news on radio, and I just, what a way to die. I mean, I wouldn't want to go into the blame game here, but what exactly are your concerns as the Institution of Engineering about this, and how do you suggest we go about such, procedures so that we don't record unfortunate incidents like that?
We have the Engineering Council in Ghana, supposed to register all practicing, not just engineers, but engineering practitioners. So anybody who practices engineering. And we have professional engineers, we have engineering technologists, we have technicians, we have craftsmen, we have tradesmen, and they're all practicing engineering. And they're all expected to be certified, adequately registered and certified and trained. Now, the problem we have is that the training regimes in Ghana are all very informal, and the certification processes have become difficult. Let's take a mason that comes to work in your house, or a plumber that comes in your, what is his training? How does he understand safety? How does he understand ethics?
Right, right.
You see, probably he knows how to join the pipes, and probably that's all that you are looking for. But beyond doing that, is he doing it professionally? And these are the things. So what we are encouraging is that all the people who are practicing engineering, up to the lowest level, the plumbers, the electricians, the carpenters, they should join and get certified. They should come to us. We are already doing it. We currently went through with about 300 people, tradesmen. We trained them, and we are getting them onto the certification process. And the things that is important to us is the safety aspects and the ethical behavior, and also a little bit of business management and things. And we have
sustainability
and sustainability. So these are the things we are doing. It's a small start, but we believe that all should come on board. If guys like that probably were certified by us, and they would have at least gotten the basics of safety, and they would have been aware of what to look out for before they jump into a tank. And the people who engage them, this is a government agency. What processes did they follow? And did they get the right people to come and get the job done? Or they just went to the roadside and got some people to come and do the work? These are the questions that are engaging our minds, and we think we should start getting ourselves properly trained, especially at the low point there. And it's a tough job because the numbers are huge. But we have to start from somewhere.
Fantastic. Your final words?
Thank you very much. I would like to encourage the general public, be part of this program that we are going to have. Last year we had the special prosecutor giving the presentation himself. Super, it was interesting. This year we have Engineer Yao in Sako, and as we already mentioned, the program is chaired by the Chief Justice, Gertrude Tokonu. And I hope I can thank our sponsors.
Of course you can, please go ahead.
First of all, Multimedia for live coverage of the date. And then we also have VRA, Bui Power Authority, Fabri Metal, Tropical Cable, Gamma Sanitation and Water Project, all helping us put this together. And we're inviting everybody. This is not just for engineering. It's not just for engineers. We are looking at changing the discourse nationally, ethical behavior. Our thinking mode must be ethical. We must think Ghana first and let our nation be transformed to the kind of place that we've always desired that it would be.
Thank you so much for doing this. And he talking about masons and plumbers just reminds me of the precision quality movement by Constance Swanica, and good morning to you, ma'am. And I believe that with all the energies being put by the various groupings and organizations, we will see the change that we want to see. Let me say a very big thank you to Engineer Ludwig Hesse. He's President-elect of the Ghana Institution of Engineering on my immediate left, and Engineer Harold Iseku, former Vice President, Ghana Institution of Engineering. engineering on my far left. So the date is 26th of October, this Thursday, and the time is?
Next
week Thursday, forgive me. I'm in a hurry to end the month. And the time is?
6:30.
6:30.
No, 5:30.
5:30 p.m. Okay, all right. So do join them online here on the Joy News channel. And if you want to be in person, why not? But we continue our conversation on the National Science and Maths Quiz. I see that you're at Chimota. Okay.
Definitely.
But your school had a tough time yesterday, you know that?
But we're through to the semi.
Oh, you are through, but you didn't have a tough time.
Yes, we are through. We are meeting Wesley Girls and St. Louis.
And
I've spoken to my colleagues.
But you know St. Louis put up a stellar performance. Of all the schools that qualified, you qualified with 34. Wesley Girls 35. Qualified 35. And St. Louis with 50.
With 50. In the previous round, we qualified with 66. The second highest so far.
Okay.
So Thursday, we are waiting for St. Louis and
Wesley Girls. Okay.
Presec Legon.
Hey, after
Presec Legon.
But Presec too, you had a bit of a.
Oh yes, but we still stretched.
So you think
the final this
so you think that you're going to win it again?
Oh wow.
I like that. Okay, so I'll stay in touch with the two of you, especially about how you're so confident about Achimota.
So, though it's engineering, I had to bring my Achimota.
Yes, I see that. I saw it, and that's why I had to say it. So we're zooming into the National Science and Maths Quiz. We'll be bringing you the contest shortly, but this time I need to bring you that conversation we've been having with organizers of the NSMQ Prime Time.
Hello there. Now, with less than 24 hours, we'll kickstart with the quarter-finals of the National Science and Maths Quiz. And yes, we are still in that season. I am currently here with Mr. Ajo, who is the Associate Director for Client Services at Prime Time. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
It's been such a long journey from preliminaries through to 1/8 and now quarter-finals.
Yes.
But let's talk about the journey so far. How did you see the preliminaries moving into the 1A stage?
All right, thank you for having me. I must say I have been very impressed with the performance of the schools right from prelims up to this moment. Naturally, you don't expect schools to come up with such kind of performance. I mean, especially based on the fact that people classify other schools as less endowed, for that matter.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of schools. A case in point, a school like St. Joseph Seminary having to run it out with St. Thomas Aquinas, and it was a very close fight, and the boys did tremendously well. I mean, we have a school like Mount Carmel Girls, who in the contest yesterday had to face off with St. James Seminary, and it was a close fight, went to the tie. Yeah, numerous a lot of them out there who we believe that they have really upped their game, and therefore they give the senior schools or so-called stronger schools a run for their money. And so it's been quite impressive performances that we've seen witnessed this year.
Yeah. Now, comparing this year's contest with last year's contest, what are some of the differences that you've seen so far with regards to this year's contest? Especially this year feels different because it's 30 years on.
Yes.
The National Science and Maths Quiz began.
Yes, rightly so. Just like I was saying earlier on, the difference for me with last year is that the performances have been quite impressive. They've really upped their game.
Yeah.
Another school,